Good morning to my subscribers in the Philippines. Good evening to my subscribers in the U.S. and beyond. I want to thank everybody for your continued support. Subscribing to the channel, watching the videos, your likes and your comments. I truly appreciate it. I'll never get rich doing this, but I enjoy it. I like helping people, and that's what this channel is all about. Giving a new man and woman, some perspective on what to expect, when you get here to the Philippines, or if you're just interested in the Philippines, period. You don't even have to come here. But this is a magical place for me. This is just one man's opinion, one man's belief. And they've wrapped their arms around me. They've accepted me as one of their own. I've been coming here for 11 years. This is my third year living here, and I feel as welcome here as I've ever felt anywhere. And I've been around the world, a few times by being in the U.S. Navy, then taking a few trips on my own. And I give back, once a week, every Friday night on my Sunshine Shoulders Facebook page. I give one of my Filipino subscribers, I give away 1,000 pesos. We have a spin wheel. Everybody's name's in there, and we spin it, and whoever comes up, I give them 1,000 pesos. That's 20 US dollars. And I do that. It's a way of giving back. But also, this pandemic, it's hard enough over here to make a living, but then the pandemic just shut everything down. People lost their jobs, it still hasn't gotten back to normal, and that's just my way. I wasn't going to stand around and watch while my neighbors and people close by were struggling. So, I wish I could help everybody, but I can't. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, my first trip to the Philippines, because it's nothing like that first trip. This is a magical place, man. I'm telling you now. And it never gets old for me. Okay? Everybody doesn't like it here. They say it's too hot. They don't like the food. The language is too hard. It's too far from home, whatever. But for me and people like me who love this place and it fits like a glove, man, it's utopia. But there's nothing like that first time, and man, I tell you, it knocked my socks off. I made some mistakes, in my reservation. I flew Korean Air, and, that's a whole other story. But I didn't know anything about Airbnb, so I booked the Crown Regency, that, expensive place. And I tell you how naive I was. I stayed here 2 weeks, but I initially made my reservation for only 1 week. It was over here that I extended a week, and Korean Air allowed me to do that at no cost. I'm glad they did, because 1 week's not enough to come way over here. 2 weeks is not enough, but if that's all you got, come on. But here's my suggestion to you, if it's your first time. Bring as much money as you can afford, okay? Stay as long as you can, because this place will grow on you. There's so much to see, so much to do, and you're going to feel like a rock star over here. I know you've heard that before, but it's true. The Filipino culture, the Filipino people, they really know how to make you feel 10 feet tall, okay, everywhere you go. And especially the woman that you end up meeting. I got off the plane, and, the first thing that I remember was the smell hitting me. It's just distinctly Filipino. It's distinctly the Philippines, rather. And it's nothing negative, it's nothing bad, but it's just that smell that's going to greet you when you get off the plane. And I don't care how many times you've been here, you're going to smell it when you get off the plane. But once you be here, you don't even smell it. It disappears. But when you arrive here, yeah, you smell that. And I had a beautiful woman just sitting there waiting for me outside the door. Big sign with my name on it, Calvin, welcome to the Philippines. I knew then, I said, man, I'm in a special place. They would never do that to me at home, And, I mean, the sights, the sounds, the roosters, and, the car horns are different over here. The colors, everything just jumped out at me. And I arrived at 1 a.m. in the morning. It was nighttime, and I flew into Cebu, which I would suggest you do, even though it's cheaper flying into Manila. And I knew right then and there, I'm going to live here one day. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I knew in my mind I was going to live here. And boy, did I have a ball. I mean, for the 2 weeks I was here. Stayed in Crown Regency, was a luxury place, had a swimming pool, had all the 9 yards because had, all the bells and whistles, because I didn't know any better, And remember, I'm an American. I want everything first class for me. That was my mindset then. Boy, have I changed. And after that, we ended up going to the Tamboli Beach Resort in Moncton, and at that time it was a beautiful place. And the strange thing about it was, I was 45 when I got here. My American mindset said, I went to CebuHonest.com. I didn't know it was okay to date women half your age over here. So I was communicating with a lady who was 41 years old, and man, was she beautiful. Did I fall in love? And I thought it was going to be, she was the one for me. She was intelligent, had a small business, a photography place, and it was struggling because she was separated from her husband, and the business wasn't there anymore. She was about to lose the business, but man, she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever set eyes on. I mean, we went to Tamboli Beach Resort, and she came out of the hotel room with because I was already out there. I'm excited, remember, I'm in the Philippines, and she has on this black polka dot bikini, man, and I mean, I haven't seen anything before or since then. I mean, she stopped, every man in his tracks was stopped to watch this lady. And that's one thing about the Philippines. When you come here, you're going to see some of the most beautiful women you've ever seen before. And I've been to Brazil. I've been to Colombia. I've been to Mexico. The United States, obviously. But there's just something about these women. They've got this exotic look to them. And the food, just trying everything new. And it's just an experience that you don't want to miss. All right. When I arrived in South Korea, a guy tried to, tell me what it was going to be like I'm trying to tell you, and he failed miserably, and I'm going to fail miserably. But there's nothing like that first time, man. And, even though every time I wake up over here, it's like the first time for me. I mean, I just love this place. There's no better place in the world. What I wanted to do was go around the world when I initially came here. And I liked it so much, I never went anywhere else. Okay? I battened down the hatches right here. But this lady took me everywhere around Cebu. We went to the tops, which is you can go up on this mountain. It's like, you take the taxi and it goes like 3 or 4 or 5, maybe longer kilometers up. And you can see out over the whole city. You take pictures and everything. We went to the Taoist Temple, which is, a tourist attraction you have to see when you get to Cebu. Just everywhere, AA barbecue, the best barbecue you will ever taste. And it's not an endorsement. Seafood there is just unbelievably delicious. But she made me feel 10 feet tall. And when it was finally time for me to go home, man, I tell you, I felt like crying. I mean, and I had just come from Cancun in February. This was April, so 2 months prior, I just come from Cancun. But I didn't feel like that when I got to the airport. But when I got to the airport in the Philippines, man, I wanted to cry. I was depressed. I didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay here. I mean, it grabbed a hold of me. The people grabbed a hold of me. And that woman grabbed a hold of me. Let me be honest. But she said something to me that ended up being really the end of our relationship, because I never saw her again. Here's what she said to me, and I'm an insurance agent. I pick up on stuff that people say and do. I can read people. And we were in Tamboli, sitting on the beach. I'm smitten with her. It's one of the most beautiful women I'd ever been so close to. She said this. She said, "What do you want with an old woman like me?" She said, "Most foreigners that come over here, they date younger women. Women in their 20s. And I was like, women in their 20s? I'm 45 at the time. Never occurred to me because, in America, they frown on that sort of thing. And it just never crossed my mind to even all the young girls on that website. It's never crossed my mind. But I filed that away. And when I got back home to the United States, me being curious, I went back on CebuHonest.com where I met her and where I eventually met my wife. And I met this young lady. She was 22. That's what her profile said. And, we started chatting. And then 2 months later, April, May, June 1st, I came back to the Philippines. I remember that clearly because when Michael Jackson died, I was here in the Philippines. And I tell you, this young lady was 22. I mean, she knocked my socks off. I mean, you talking about being turned out and my man was gone. She had my man. If I had $1 million, she could have had 999,000 of it. Okay. My nose was wide open, man. And I fell in love and I fell hard. And I'd come back every 2 months to see her. And, I thought I was going to marry her. And what happened was I was here on her birthday. And remember, I suggest to you, whenever you meet somebody, go around their family, go around their friends. They will tell you what you need to know about the person. And it's her birthday, we've laid out everything. We got the lechon, we got the cake, we got the Filipino macaroni salad, everything. The pancit, canton, rice, everything. The Cokes. I bought beer and Tanduay for the father and his friends. And the friend comes in and says, happy 19th birthday. And it just seemed like somebody took a hatchet over top of my head and split me in two, man. I was it floored me. My heart skipped a beat. So the whole time I'm dating this young lady, I'm thinking she's 22. She was 18, man. I just felt sick inside. And I'm not a saint, man. But that's too young for me. Okay? And that was the end of it for us, man. I just felt so dirty. I was like, the deception. I felt deceived. I'm like, why would you do that to me? All this time I'm walking around. I mean, she was about as gorgeous as a woman could be. But she was just too young. And when she did that to me, man, I just felt so embarrassed because we went all over the Philippines. We went everywhere together. I'm in love. It hurt me, man. And it took me a while. It took me to get over that, eventually, get my bearings back. But it let me know that there's more to the Philippines than a woman. It just shows you how shallow thinking I had at the time. But over the 11 years, man, if all you come over here for is for a woman, man, you're going to cheat yourself. Man, this place it's magical, man. The weather, the people, number one, man. They treat you better than anywhere they've ever been. You're gonna feel like a celebrity. The beaches, I don't care if you like beaches, mountains, if you like hiking, volcanoes. They got it all over here. Okay, the low cost of living. But there's nothing like that first time. So bring as much money as you possibly can afford. Stay as long as you possibly can. Okay? And just let yourself go when you get over here. Say yes more than you say no. Try some new stuff over here. Try some new foods because you'll be shocked, man. They got some delicious food over here. People say that they don't like the Filipino food. Man, they got delicious food over here. I'll leave you with this suggestion. Barbacoa. It's like a soup. Man, it's delicious. Pancit. Canton, lumpia, which is like our egg rolls at home. I could keep going on and on. Excuse me. The macaroni salad. The barbecue, like I said. Isaw. That's chicken intestines, man. And I know it sounds crazy, but shrimp paste. Look, okay? Thank me later. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. If you like my video, like it. If you comment, go up by all means comment. And if you prefer, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, man. I'm trying to build this channel to be a resource to the new man and woman. Thank you so much. Take care.